up, beautiful people? Welcome once again to H&Clothings. And in today's video, we're going to learn how to make this layered flay effect, okay? So it was a trend some time ago, and yeah, it's still a trend, you know, and it actually gave your outfit a very pleasing style, pleasing look, design. You just up the game of the outfit, okay? So we're going to see how to do this. It's actually very easy. This is just flay that they cut. So you cut flay and you put things inside to just give it either this puffiness or just even make it flat with just crinoline. So whichever one you decide to go for, it's fine, okay? At the end of the day, you will get something that you actually love when you do it. So as usual, this girl is back again with her slash and spread. Yes, we're going to be using slash and spread to cut the flay. It's going to be really easy and we'll be done in no time. We'll be through, okay? So let us dive right into the video. Thank you so much for the love you're showing me on here. I am truly grateful. Please do not forget to subscribe. Do not even get tired of liking and commenting whenever you see it, okay? Because you know I give you value on here. So thank you so much, guys. Let us get right into today's video. So the first thing you do is take your measurement for the layered flayed effect, okay? Now you would have finished sewing your dress, your gown, whichever style, if it's a blouse, whatever you're doing, you'd have finished sewing it. And then you take your tape roll, or in the process of taking your measurement for your client or your body measurement, you start from where you want your flay to begin, that layered flay. So you take your tape roll like so. When you're taking the measurements for your client, remember to take this measurement. Start from where you want that layered flayed effect to start from. So sometimes under the bust or on your half length, that waistline where there's always that joining, you start from there and you go all the way to your back where you want you to stop, and it's stopping just about here, okay? So that's 30 inches for me. We're going to use a 30-inch flayed measurement. All right, we're going to divide it by 2. So you do 30-inch divided by 2. You can actually use either your calculator or you fold your tape into 2, and we have 15 inches. So we are going to rule a 15-inch line on our pattern, and that's what we're going to use to create the flay for this design. Also, another thing I wanted to let you know is you are also going to determine the width, how wide you want the flay to be. Sometimes you see that it's a little narrower here. Some designs, the designs vary. You can design, oh, I want it narrower on the ends, and by the center I want it to be wide. So you can say, okay, let this place, the one on the waistline, be about 4 inches wide, and when it's going up here it's about 8 inches wide, okay? Or you give it the same length all through, and just decide how you love, just visualize, decide how you want the flay design to be, and you work with that. All right, so let's go back to our pattern, draft the pattern, and quickly start cutting, sew one up, and we'll see how it looks. So I have this paper that I'm going to be using to draft the pattern. So guys, it's not every time you use, for simple things like this that does not involve basic bodice block or style patterns that are tangible and you keep reusing, you can use newspapers, okay? Something to just illustrate, to just show. Use newspaper so that you know that patterns, drafting patterns is kind of like on the high side, so you want to improvise from time to time. So I'm going to be using this, and I'll measure that my 15 inches because I just folded it into 2. So my 15 inches is just about this length, and I'm going to be putting that 1 inch allowance just for hemming at both sides, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to be using the whole of this length for the 15 inches. Now that means that on this side, that's where we'll be going into the waistline of both the back and the front, and on this side will be the parts that will be on the shoulder. Okay, this line here will be the one on the shoulder, and this one will be the one going into the waistline. So now the next thing to do is to measure how wide you want it to be. So from here I'm going to measure about 5 inches, or I can even do 5.5 inches, so that when I sew up, you know, you'll be cutting two to turn it to have a clean finish. So I'll use 5.5 inch here, and on this side I could use 9.5 inches just for that dramatic effect. Okay, you can connect it with a curve or with a straight ruler, whichever one that is fine by you. I'll just connect it with a straight ruler. Okay, so this will be like my pattern. I'll cut this out. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is I want to determine where I want those flare to be. I'm going to draw slash lines through. So I'm going to put a slash line here. I'll put another slash line here, and maybe one slash line here. Okay, and from there I'm going to cut through. You can cut through or cut to that point. Depends if you want to add fullness to that place, you know. So I'll just cut through like this. I'll cut to that point like so. And the next thing is I'm going to take another paper and arrange it under. So I'll be using a white paper so you can see it clearer. So this is my pattern that I cut. I'm going to be spreading it really wide. I'll start from the bottom here and spread it. So I'll align this one with this part here. Align the shoulder line that we marked, align it to this part. Then you pin it down here. Just tape it down. Then here, spread it super wide. You can actually cut it through. If you want there to be space in between, you can cut it through. If you don't want space, just do it like a 4-corner thing, or as much as how you want it to be, and you spread it. This will be really full by the time you're done. So yeah. Okay, so I'll just hold it there as well. Okay, it's even unraveling on its own. I'm leaving some little space, like 1 inch in between there, so that I can have some fullness at that part. I'll pleat the fullness or gather the fullness. Then here I'm spreading it like 1 inch. I'm just eyeballing it and pinning it at intervals. Okay, then I can cut some part of the paper and put here so that I'll be able to spread this other part. Let me cut this paper. Don't mind me, I shouldn't have even cut the paper if I had placed the other pattern well. I didn't place the newspaper well, that was why I had to cut it. But if you place it well from the beginning, you don't need to cut any paper, because it's just a full paper. I now still went to cut it. I didn't place it well, so okay. I'm going to use the tape to hold this paper to this paper. Great, and I can spread this one too. I'm going to open it wide and spread it. I can spread it this way with that 1 inch. Yeah. So if you do not want any fullness in between, Just as how we did the circle skirts, do not leave any space there. But me, I want a fullness there. I want it to be really full and lovely. Okay, so now I'll go ahead to blend these lines. So how do you blend the lines? You take your tape roll and you start measuring from here. What do I have here? 9 inches. So you measure 9 inches round till you get there. Okay, so let me take my tape roll. 9 inches. 9. Okay, then you come here and you measure what you have here. Here is like 7.5 inches, so I'll do 7.5 round. 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Okay, let me be cutting as I'm going. Just blend it. You don't need to go that sharp line. Blend it as you go. Okay, so measure what next. So here, what will you have here? Okay, about 7 inches, so I'll mark 7 inches. 7 inches. 7 inches. Keep blending. Then you measure here what you have here, and here is 5.5 inches. But you don't even need to measure it round. All you just need to do is blend it. When you're cutting the circle, do not cut corners, blend it. You need to blend your body. There's no square or anything sharp corner on your body. Even your shoulder blades has a curve to it. Everything has a curve. So please don't make the mistake of doing any sharp corner. So you see how I was able to blend that out. Great. So this is what I'm going to place on my pattern and cut it out. So I'm going to be cutting on fold. This shoulder line will be on fold because that is where it's going to go to your shoulder. Okay, and you'll be cutting 2 pieces on fold. So let's place it on the fabric, cut it out, sew it up, tell you the kind of interfacing to use, and we'll wrap this tutorial up. All right guys, so this is my fabric. I folded it into 2 like this. Something I wanted to say about using patterns. For instance, using patterns for this flay, it will just be so easy to cut out. Like you'll be able to manage your fabric using this kind of thing to cut your flay. So something I observed, as I placed the flay, because of how wide I spread it, this did not fall on the fold at all. It wasn't on the fold. And try to place it diagonally. Diagonally means that by this corner, let it just be there. That's where it's going to give you the fullest spread. Okay, so I hope you can see that. First of all, it didn't fall on fold. That means there will be a stitch line at that shoulder. And also, you can place it anyhow anyway. You can place it this way, like you want it to be this way. You can place it like this. Like this one should be like that. You can place it anyhow, but I'll choose to place it like I'm placing it on the bias. You know, this is the triangle. This part is the bias, so that's where the fullest part of the flare is. That's why I twisted it that way. Let me hold it down with pins and cut this up. So I'm thinking I'm going to use only one of this flare to show you, to explain to you, since it's not like I'm even doing the main dress. I'm just explaining how to get that design that everyone was rocking. Everybody rocked this design. Okay, so if you're going to be cutting more of this, you cut more of this. Just bear in mind that this will also require fabric. The more of this you cut, the more fabric you'll be needing. Alright, so we're going to open it up now. Oh yes guys, we're supposed to cut double of this for one. This is just for one. You need to cut another one to serve as the lining to turn it in so that it looks good. So I'll quickly cut another one without wasting much time. So let me explain what I mean. When you stitch up the 1/2 inch allowance I put there, if you stitch it up and you open it up, so you'll be having just one flare, just one flare for one sleeve. So you need the other flare to finish it up, to turn the inside, because if you look at all the styles, it's double, it's not just one, so you require a lot of fabric for this particular style. Okay, so I am going to be joining that part up like so. So once you have joined it up, you can now decide what kind of filling you want to put inside. Some people leave it just flat, so I have some samples of when you don't put anything inside. So when you don't put anything inside and you cut your flay, see how full it is, but there's nothing inside, no stay, nothing, it's just flat. Okay, so I have a sample of when you don't put anything inside. See how it is, it's just flat. Okay, then if you put something inside, if you want to put something inside, there are different varieties of what you can put inside. You can put a peplum stay, the ones that is not fusible, you can put that. You can put a gum stay if you want it kind of flat and chiseled and sharp like what you have here, or you can put crinoline to make it more everywhere like what you have here. So just choose the kind of filling you want. So this is like crinoline. You take the wider inches here. This crinoline is 6 inches, so you can use this type, 6 inches crinoline. You can use even the smaller one. Let me show you. If you want it more tapered like what you have here, you can use the smaller one. This one is 1 inch crinoline. You can use your normal gum stay or paper stay and put it inside if you want it very flat and beautiful. So whichever one, but I'm going to be using the crinoline because I'm sure we're familiar with using gum stay, using all other kind of fillings. I'll use a crinoline so that we'll see how the effect will be. You can use a 1 inch to have this kind of effect at the bottom. You see that sharp 1 inch. So let me use the 6 inch to turn this inside out, and we'll finish up this tutorial. Alright guys, so now you can see that there was one I cut on the bias, right, and the other one I cut straight. If you observe it very well, see the one I cut on the bias fuller than the one I cut straight. See it? So that's what I was telling you about. If you want your flake to be really full, cut it on the bias. Okay, so I did that so that I will show you, and also I wanted to preserve my fabric. I didn't want to just do it that way. Now you can see what we also did. I placed one open like this. I put the other one on top, like front sides to front sides. Then I put the crinoline here, so that by the time I flip it inside out, the crinoline is in the middle of both of them. Okay, so I'm going to flip it from this side. You can also see how the crinoline is already giving it fullness. But mind you that you can actually iron this thing down, so it won't be as puffy as whichever your preference is. So let me first flip it inside out. Alright guys, so I quickly came here so that I'm going to show you what difference it makes. I've ironed this part. You see it's relaxing a little more. See, this part is still puffy. So put it this way, place your iron, bring out that part, just place your iron, let it relax on it for a little. You see that the crinoline is obeying the heat. Okay, so you see that it's relaxed. So press it as much as you want. Okay, now for this one, go ahead to trim. And after trimming, you can either use hemming gum to close up that part, or you sew on it. Okay, so I'll fold that part in and I'll put my hemming gum there. Alrighty, so it is sealed up, and alright guys, we are through finally. Okay, but see, I did only one, so if you want more you could do 6 of this so that you have 3 on one side, 3 on the other. But this one is even enough if you don't want too much paparazzi. Okay, so you take yours like this. Okay, and if it's this side you're putting it on, this part where we have that shoulder seam, you put it there and you pin it down. So if it's here that you put it, that this is the shoulder seam, so you start from here and you put it there. Okay, up there on the dress that you have already made. Okay, let me put it there. Okay, then the next one, so some put it just like by your princess seam style. Some will put it beside the bust like this. So however you want to arrange it, if you want to arrange it on top at that nipple point or beside the nipple point, you put it there like so. That's on your dress. For me, I'm just showing you on the mannequin. Then here we'll now go near that waist line seam. Okay, so that will be for the front. You can see how the side looks. Too much paparazzi. Then here you let it go from the back like so. Okay, and you pin it down. And finally this last one will go into the waistline at the back like so. So if you see that it is much more than your half length, you know, we added some space, you can actually pleat it up. So I'm moving it up so that I can pleat. Can decide to pleat here so that it's like double there. Pin it down. Just do it neatly. Okay, So if you want more pleats, you pleat up here too, or wherever you want the pleats to fall. Okay, so you can see how it looks. You can put this on a blouse, you can put this on a dress, you can put this on a gown, okay, and it's going to be lovely. So this is the finished product of your style design. So you put two, one on the other side. If you want more layers, as much as you want. Okay. So can also make it to be like a mono strap. Just it can be on just one side of the body. Okay, so let me quickly show you how to attach it in case you are going to be doing this. So let us assume that this is the dress that you have made. If you've not seen the tutorial of this dress, by the way, please go and see the link up here, go and watch that tutorial. So we're assuming that this is the dress we made for that our style design. Now you know where your nipple point is. Maybe your nipple point is here, okay, and this is like your waistline. I'm imagining that there are already lines here, okay. So what you just do is you take this and you pin it from this side. So you can pin it so that the sewing doesn't show. That's instead of just sewing it, instead of just taking it and sewing it on there like this palm, you can sew it this way on it after you have finished sewing, except you want to sew it inside the princess seams. So you pin it this way. Okay, I'm just showing you how to do it. You can pleat where you want to pleat, pin it this way. Okay, then you take it into the shoulder. That's where that shoulder and armhole is. You pin it that way. There, pin it on the mannequin. Don't pin it on your flat table. Pin it on the mannequin. Pin it here. Then you go to the back like so. Then you follow it to where you want it to stop. Maybe it's stopping here now. You pin it there. And final pin will go here. Okay, so guys, this is what it is. Let's imagine this is our fabric that this style is going into. Put it on the mannequin, place this how you want it to be, and pin it down like so. So you can always arrange it how you would want it to be. If it's going out of shape, you give it a tack somewhere, or you arrange the fabric well. Yeah, so this is what it is for the style design, as puffy and as full as you want it to be. Alright guys, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. Yeah, and as usual guys, if you did have any question, any comment, suggestion, please leave it in the comment section below. Make that place lively, please make it lively. And yeah, as usual, send in your request as well. Till we'll see you in the next tutorial. Stay safe, God bless you. Do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to like, give me a huge thumbs up. Till we see you in the next tutorial. Bye.